Today's devotion is called Selectively Serving with a Basin and a Towel. We are on day 179, June the 28th, and today's morning rinse is John 13 through 15. Are you enjoying John as much as I enjoy John? I love this book. Today's featured verse is really special to me. It's John 13:5. Then he poured water into the basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel with which he was girded. It was August the 28th, 1999, and that day is my wedding. Nathan and I, we wanted the ceremony to be a picture of not only what heaven might be like visually, but we wanted to show who Jesus was and is as well. And if you're following along and, you're a family member or you were there, you might remember some of the things I'm going to talk about today. So we filled the sanctuary with decor using some of the colors that describe heaven that are found in the book of Revelation. And the way that I figured that out, kind of on a sidetrack here, is that I believe in the book of Revelation there is 12 colors. There are 12 colors that are mentioned as the foundation of heaven. And obviously I didn't have 12 bridesmaids standing up with me. And so what I did was I selected 5 of those colors. And I don't know if I'm going to remember them or not. I chose sapphire and onyx and gold and ruby, and I don't remember the other one. There was green, blue, red, gold, and purple. I think those are my 5 colors. And and what I did was I had this dress designed, and everyone wore that color on the top of their, top part of their dress, and then the bottom was a long gown, black gown, and so it was very elegant, and each girl wore a different color and selected that color. And then also too, we used flowers that were mentioned in the Bible, like lilies, and then we had our programs printed to look like a scroll, and then we rolled them up and put gold ribbon around them and passed out our programs like a scroll. And so all these little details made our special heavenly day. And, we had like this big curtain that came down and the Ark of the Covenant and trees on each side. And I think I've mentioned a little bit about this in the early podcast when I was talking about Genesis and the tree of life. Well, amongst all of these details, Nathan washed my feet to depict the very scene that is in today's featured verse. And during the ceremony, on the cue of Michael W. Smith's song called Basin and the Towel, Nathan removed his coat, his tuxedo jacket, and he carefully grabbed a borrowed basin and towel, and he knelt in front of me. And while this song played, he slowly and gently washed my feet. And this caused tears to not only run down my face, but the faces of many of our guests. And this moment literally remains one of the most special memories from our ceremony. And despite it being decades ago, I still receive comments from some of the guests proving that it is still etched in many of our guests' mind. And although Nathan did not wash anyone else's feet on our wedding day, and rightfully so due to the context of our ceremony, Jesus wants us to live our lives ready to use our personal basin and towel in our daily lives to serve those people around us. Jesus wants our hearts to be open to serve, regardless of who the person is or what they have done. It's easy to forget Jesus washed all of his disciples' feet, despite knowing that one of them would betray him, another one would deny him, and then all of them would desert him for a moment in time. He still lowered himself to a servant's position. I am convinced the disciples were embarrassed by his washing their feet, since they often would argue with each other about who was the greatest among them. You know, they would argue about that, and then here Jesus is washing their feet. Do you live a life of servanthood? Or do you selectively pull out your basin and towel and serve only those people that you want to serve? Jesus did not live an example of selective serving. It was his life, his everyday life, to carry around a basin and a towel, waiting for who was to be served next, waiting for who he would minister to next, waiting for that person. You know, we talked, it was yesterday or the day before, how that he went looking for the blind man to serve him emotionally and to feed into him and to care for him and love him. Jesus didn't selectively serve. His life was to carry around a basin and a towel. Today's challenge is to allow God to search your heart and to reveal to you any area of your life that you are selectively serving in. And ask God to help you to get to the root of why you lay your basin and towel down, why you lay it down instead of carrying it all the time. Why are there some times where you'll lay it down instead of being willing to serve in that moment? And ask him to reveal ways that you can serve those around you where you are not currently. And the challenge to dig deeper is to commit to living a new lifestyle of carrying around your personal basin and towel. And I air quote those words because obviously we aren't going to be picking up our basin and towel literally and, carrying it around with us. Although, who knows, you may eventually want to put a basin and towel in your car and God may ask you to wash people's feet tangibly on this side of heaven. But it's more of an emotional basin and towel. And if we all could carry around a basin and a towel, if we all could have that inside of us so deep and so strong that we always had it with us, or had the mindset of serving with us, if we carried around our own personal basin and towel lifestyle, can you imagine the lives that we would change? Can you imagine the impact that we would have if we would serve others and live a life of servanthood like Jesus? Today is just another way to help us build and grow and love and serve others around us in our own world, in our own way, giving back to people in our lives. You know the drill. Pulling out your journal and reflecting, which is called rinse, reflect, repeat, right? We're reflecting on our morning rinse. And I want you to, as you're going about your day and seeing what God is talking to you about when it comes to being a servant, or when it comes to the basin and towel, it could be that maybe you look this song up. It's called Basin and a Towel by Michael W. Smith. And maybe looking up this song and listening to it and just getting a reflection of what that song could mean But I want you to write down what God showed you about being a servant, about carrying around this basin and towel attitude. What is it like? Are there any adjustments that you need to make? Have you been reflecting on yourself? And is there something that maybe the Lord is showing you that you need to be more of a servant in certain areas of your life? Maybe it's not the people that are out there that you need to be more of a servant to, but it's more in your own home. Maybe there are things that, it's in your own home that you need to be more of a servant to. Sometimes the people that are closest to us are, the hardest to have that servant attitude with at times, because we want things to go our way. And, the ones that are closest to us, sometimes, we see their flaws, they see ours, and we forget that we still should be serving them. It's an attitude. It's not about a tangible basin and towel. It is about an attitude. It's a lifestyle of serving. And so I hope that today inspired you and to gave you ideas, maybe offering up reflection on what the servanthood lifestyle is like, and it's what it's all about. And I hope that today gave you some ideas, and I look forward to hearing about them. And obviously, if you were with us on our wedding day, be sure and put in the comments below. I would love to see your comments if you were there and if you enjoyed that moment of our wedding ceremony. So enjoy the rest of the day as you are gleaning and talking to God about being a servant and what that means to you. And until tomorrow, before I forget, be sure and look in the show notes for the link to get my devotional. And it's almost halfway through the year. If you know somebody that you would like to bring along on this journey, go ahead and get it for them. That would be an amazing gift to shed this devotional and to invite them in onto this journey of reading the Word and gleaning from every single day something that the Word comes from. That's why I love what the Lord gave me in this book. It's an action-driven devotional, and walking through the Bible and making the Bible applicable to our everyday life, even those hard books like Leviticus and Numbers. All right, so until tomorrow, keep rinsing, reflecting, and repeating. God bless you.